It goes like this.
Nailed it.
Okay, somebody please look up a loon call and see just how off that was.
Hello, Eepers. Welcome to another episode of Extra English Podcast with Misha.
And Larissa. We're two Canadian English teachers talking about life in Canada, our lives, and anything else that might interest us. And hopefully will interest you too.
So join us for another conversation. Today we're going to talk about some classic Canadian animals, the ones you can find on our money, on our coins.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Uh-huh.
I mean, they've got to be classic Canadian if they've made it onto currency.
I mean, they're famous.
There's something special about them.
Well done, creatures. You made it, the big time.
Let's start with the nickel 5-cent coin.
Yes.
5-cent coin has a beaver.
Yes, which is a classic Canadian symbol for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And common. Mm-hmm. I don't know about all
parts. Have you seen a beaver?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a good story about a beaver.
Let's hear it.
So one year, my family and I were camping, as we've discussed in a previous episode. So we're like sort of more north in Ontario, in the backwoods away from people. And my dad and my nephew, I think this is how it started, went canoeing in the morning to go fishing. Mm-hmm. And where we were camping, there was kind of like a little tiny dip in the coastline. So a little like cove, I guess you could call it. And they were just paddling around there a little bit in the canoe. And then this beaver shows up and he slapped his tail.
What?
So a beaver is like they look kind of rodent-y. I don't know if they're technically a rodent.
They swim. I don't know. Can rodents swim?
A muskrat swims.
Oh.
And I feel like a muskrat's definitely a rodent. We don't know. We're not scientists, biologists. Anyway, a beaver looks rodent-ish. It's got brown fur, but it has a big tail that's like leathery and paddle-shaped.
And flat.
Flat, yeah. So it smacked its tail on the water, made a really loud sound, startled all of us, because it didn't like them in there. So it was mad.
Wow.
Or scared and was trying to chase them off.
Wow.
So it made that sound a couple of times. And so they eventually left. He must have a home in there somewhere.
Yes.
So then later in the day, first of all, we watched that beaver then. He sat on the shore opposite us, like just a little distance away, and we watched him. And at one point he was kind of like wiping his fur over and over with his little paws. Huh. And then I learned, my dad explained to me, that a beaver has like a gland that secretes a oily like substance that the beaver then applies to its fur that creates a bit of like water resistance.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
So we watched him sit on the shore and like oil himself up.
Amazing.
Yes. And then later in the day, my dad and I got back in the canoe and went back in that little cove. We wanted to see if we could find his home, which would be underwater. So we were being nosy, poking about, seeing what we could see. We didn't see the beaver, so we're like, okay, he's gone off to do something. And we were kind of like chuckling about how we're being a little rude.
Uh-huh.
And then we turn our canoe around. When we've given up, we turn around. There's the beaver. He's just like sitting at the mouth of the cove, just above the water, just giving us like the beaver death stare. So I imagine. He did not like us being there.
Well, you knew he wouldn't.
I know, we were definitely being not good guests on his land. Anyway, we didn't find his home, so we didn't disturb it, and we got out of his way, but it was just funny. Also, I think as humans, we like to apply a lot of human emotion to animal behavior.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I felt like he was really annoyed at us. I'm sure he didn't like us there.
I'm sure he didn't.
Does he feel annoyance? I don't know.
I mean, you keep calling him he, but in my mind, it's a she protecting her family.
I guess it could have been. I don't know if you can. I don't know how you tell.
We don't know.
Not biologists. Also, we weren't that close. Yeah, might have been. Maybe there were baby beavers in there.
If you can imagine it as a male beaver, I can imagine it as a female beaver. We're just making it
likely.
all up.
50-50. We don't know the beaver's name. Makes it harder to guess. Anyway, we often see beavers, but usually you see them at a distance swimming.
Yeah.
Have you seen one?
I have. Again, like just like poking its head out or doing its thing. And I've like seen it in Ontario. I've also seen a beaver in Alberta.
Oh, so maybe they're across most of the southern part of the country then.
Well,
I mean,
it wasn't very southern where I was, but anyway.
well,
there
I'm
are-
thinking like, are they in Nunavut? I don't know.
probably not in the frozen lands.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And sometimes you can see their dams.
Yes,
So they build,
sometimes they're over. Sorry,
Yeah, go ahead.
over water. That's
They're
all.
over water. Sometimes they are in the air. Yes.
Uh-huh.
And more than seeing beavers, I've seen evidence of beavers.
Me too, much more.
So what does evidence of beavers look like?
Well, sometimes you might see a tree that's been stripped of all its bark because they eat something there, I think.
Probably.
Also, you might see a tree that's been chewed off all the way around, little tooth marks on it, or you might find the piece that's been floated somewhere.
And sometimes it's like it's a peak, right? Like they'll
Yeah,
chew
always, I
it.
think.
They'll chew it all the way through, and then finally it'll fall, and they take it and use it.
Yeah.
But then you can see like this, almost like a pencil.
Yeah, exactly, like the top of a pencil. Totally.
Yeah, beavers.
Or you might see, like, you've seen a dam. What did that look like?
Just it looked like a whole lot of sticks.
Yeah.
And I couldn't tell. Like it could have been that the wind and like it was just kind of I couldn't see the form or
Yeah.
the intention in it.
Yeah.
There was. I'm sure there
sure.
was. I just with my untrained eye,
Your human eye.
I feel like if I trained it I probably could.
I'm sure. Beavers will, like, at a small part in the water, like a little where the water narrows, they'll pack a lot of probably mud and sticks to make a dam, so the water gets stuck, so the water builds up and they have a little home. But the entrance is underneath, so I don't think you see the beavers easily because they're swimming in under the water.
And also, I believe
Yeah.
this is how we as humans learn to make dams.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Right? We watched the beavers do their thing and thought that's very clever.
Great
We can do
idea.
that too.
Maybe this is why we also have waxed cloth. It's like the beaver's
Oh.
little water-resistant oil.
You can learn a lot from nature.
Totally.
Okay, the next coin that has an animal is the quarter. And if you look at a quarter, you might think it's a moose.
Yes.
It's not a moose.
No.
It's a caribou.
And a caribou is like a deer or a moose, same family. I don't
Yeah.
know what that family of animals is called either.
You want the Latin, like scientific
Well, I
name?
mean, like the beaver's a rodent. You know,
Maybe.
Maybe. The caribou is the cloven hoof family. Anyway, I know enough to know that they're similar to a deer or a moose. They have antlers, which are like the
Yes.
big, hard tree branch looking things that grow out of the head.
Yep. Which are very useful.
I think they fight. The male caribous fight with those. Each other. And also, I'm sure, would fight a human if it...
A human
Made
and
itself fightable.
other predators. Like
Yes, other
They're for
predators.
protection.
Yeah.
And for showing off and for getting a good mate, probably.
Yeah. You might not see this if you're not watching the video, but Larissa's doing a little shoulder movement.
Shoulder strut.
The
Yeah.
shoulder show off.
I just imagine that the caribou's like, listen, there's a nice looking caribou over there, and I'm going to impress her by fighting with this one.
Yeah, I think that probably happens. So we don't know because we didn't do research, but that's what we guess about caribou life.
Anyway, this is the fun fact that you can take with you. The animal on the quarter is not a moose,
It's not. No.
although there are many moose in Canada. Oh, other fun fact, the plural of moose is moose.
Yeah. English. Am I right? Just unpredictable. One moose, two moose.
Yep. You're welcome.
Okay, so then moving up, we come to the loonie.
Okay, this is the $1 coin that didn't exist when we were children.
No, it did not.
They just invented it. They
Yes.
just created it in 97-ish.
90 something for sure.
Yeah, late 90s.
Yeah.
And it has a loon on it.
Yes.
And if you have a keen eye, you might have spotted a loon already in our video. If you're listening, sorry, that was awful. That was a...
You're out of luck, but
Yeah.
we'll post a picture of it somewhere. I have it's not finished, half finished embroidery. I like to embroider. So this is a half finished embroidery of a loon in our background here.
And this looks great. So that's a loon. It's a bird.
Yeah.
It's a bird that swims.
It's a water bird.
Yeah.
Black and white. They're beautiful.
They're beautiful.
Yeah. And they're quite large for birds here. They're larger. I think I've always seen them at a distance.
Yes.
So they don't look large, but I think actually they're quite large.
The cool thing about a loon is that you'll see it pop up and then it'll dive underwater and it'll swim really far.
Really far.
And then it'll pop back up.
Yeah.
But like you have to be watching for it. And sometimes like it's so long and you think, oh no, I've lost the loon. And then there it is.
Bam, it pops up again.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really cool.
And the loon has a very distinctive sound.
Yeah, that's really the best part about it. Do you want to try to make it?
I'm going to try. It goes like this.
Nailed it.
Okay, somebody please look up a loon call and see just how off that was.
But you got the gist of it. It's like a, undulating sound. Goes
You
up
don't
and
wanna
down, up
try?
and down. No. But do you know, I don't want to try. But people here often make, and I can't do it, so I'm sorry. I'm going to tell you about something, but I can't demonstrate. They cup their hands together and put their thumbs side by side and then put their mouth on the knuckle of the thumb.
Okay.
And you blow into your cupped hands. Yeah, I can't do it.
But how do you get the hoo 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 part?
That you flutter your thumbs. I'm pretty sure. No, the back of your hand. The hand that's cupping the back. So we can't do it, but it's a thing, and kids like to try to make the loon sound with your hands. So if you know a Canadian, ask them, can they make the loon sound with their hands?
And if they can't, ask them if they can make it with their voice like Larissa.
People would often say the sound of the loon is kind of haunting or eerie.
Yeah.
And you hear it a lot at night. So if you go camping, all night long you'll hear on and off little loon sounds.
And because they're on the water, the sound carries. So it's probably not that loud, but it feels loud.
It feels loud. Yeah. And they have that sound Larissa was making, and then kind of a longer sound.
Oh.
Like a I can't make it. Just Google loon sound. Because it's such a beautiful sound.
It is.
But if you hear it at night and you didn't know what it was.
Yeah, you're like, what's going on? No, it's
sound
the
a little
loon.
spooky.
It's friendly. It's a friendly creature.
That's right. We decided that our loon impression wasn't quite enough. So here is a recording of a real loon.
And the loonie, the $1 coin, is called the loonie because of the loon. When it first came out, I think it was kind of a joke. People were joking. It's the loonie, it's the $1 coin, and then it stuck.
It stuck. Because loonie, if you used it to describe a person, you're saying they're crazy. Insulting.
It's insult. It's an insult.
Yeah.
Loony, probably.
Probably.
This one is Loonie, the loonie coin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I think probably people made fun of us when
we doubled down.
We kept it. Yep. But it gets better.
Well, but wait, I want to say one more thing about the loon before we move on.
Yes,
because I just learned this.
Oh, I want to know.
Because I watched this, I follow this woman on Instagram who farms in Ontario, and she found a wounded loon.
That's fun to say.
It
a
is fun to
wounded
say.
loon.
And she rescued it, but then she learned afterwards that loons actually are quite dangerous if you're up close, because they have a they have a long, strong beak.
Well, for fishing, presumably.
For fishing. And they go for the eyes if threatened.
Oh.
So they can, just word of caution.
You're never going to be close enough to a loon.
I mean, she was.
Well, she was. Okay.
It's very rare. But yes, I have never in my life, I've seen loons hundreds of times. I've never been close to a loon. But if you ever are, stay away because they can be very dangerous.
I'm far more scared of a goose than a loon.
Well, because we see geese all the time. We're not talking about the Canada goose this episode. He's out. He didn't make the list.
Could you imagine? There'd be revolt if we put him on a coin. The goose.
Oh my gosh, people would be so. The loon is beautiful, but also because it's always at a distance, it increases its charm.
So we can only imagine beautiful things about it. I don't want to know that it will poke my eyes out, Misha.
Right? I know. I'm sorry, but in case
It's
you
good.
run into one.
Yeah, it's good.
Anyway, Larissa was saying the loonie is a funny name.
Yes.
But it continues.
It gets even better because then a few years later, maybe not a few years, it was a bit of time.
Yeah.
They came out with a $2 coin
Yeah.
because of the success of the $1 coin. And so people joked, haha, we're going to call it a toonie. We did.
That's what it's called.
TWONIE. Toonie. No, TOONIE.
I think double O.
Double O, yes, of course.
Yeah.
It's a play on the words, toonie, TWO,
Yes.
but it's TOONIE, of course.
To rhyme with loony, the loony and the toonie.
Looney Toonie. Seriously? Our money?
I haven't heard it said in a row that much. It's really funny.
I mean, already our money is very colorful, and so that gets a bit of flack.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're introducing a loony and a toonie. But listen, we love it. We're
Yeah.
proud of our
We have a
loony
good
and our
sense of
toonie.
humor. Canadian humor is really, our national humor is self-deprecating.
Yes.
Right? We like to make fun of our politicians a little bit. We're
Yeah.
laughing about our money. We don't take that kind of national pride stuff so seriously.
Until it's threatened.
Well, that is a topic for another day. That's true.
Yes. Let's talk about what animal is on the toonie.
The toonie has the polar bear,
Polar bear.
which Larissa and I have never seen.
No.
I mean, at a zoo.
Yes.
At a zoo.
And in nature shows.
Oh, what do you mean?
Oh, like on TV.
On TV. Yes. They're very photogenic, I
They're
feel like.
so beautiful.
They're beautiful.
so beautiful.
But really dangerous.
oh, yeah.
They're the only bear, to my understanding, in Canada at least, that would eat a human for food. Because I think a grizzly bear might kill you. But I don't
Also
think they
not
would eat
awesome.
you. Yeah, not great.
Listen, if a bear's going to eat me, if a bear's going to kill me, I'd rather they eat me.
That's what I'm saying. Don't just waste my life for nothing. No, I'm not saying that. Please don't come for me, polar bears. But a polar bear, if you live in the part of Canada where there are polar bears, which is much further north than we are,
Yes.
they're dangerous.
They're dangerous, but also if you live there, you know that.
Yeah, 100%.
And you have all sorts of cultural knowledge that we
Yes.
could benefit from.
Yes.
And they're not getting in the way of a polar bear.
No, probably not.
Probably.
Anyway,
I hope.
that's the toonie.
That's a toonie, yes. So yeah, it is surprising. Like some of the more common animals that we see didn't make it on money.
I mean, I think to make it on the coin, you have to be common. Well, I was going to say and somewhat regal, but actually I feel like a beaver. It's a rodent.
But the beaver has a lot of characteristics associated with it that
true.
are beautiful. Like it's known for its its
Cleverness.
productivity, cleverness. It's when you stick to something.
Determination.
Thank you. There's the word.
Ingenuity,
Yes.
figuring out new ways of doing things. That's
Yeah.
true.
If you were ever tasked with coming up with a
Yes.
new coin,
Yeah.
what animal would you put on it? What would you put on it? What would you recommend?
Well, I feel like, I was going to say we need a bird, but the loon's a bird. Mm-hmm. I mean, tough choice. What's maybe a wolf?
Oh,
Regal,
yes.
right? Very romanticized, the wolf. I feel like
Yeah.
people love
Yeah.
the image of the wolf.
There's lots of beautiful imagery, yeah.
And that's so common. I haven't seen a wolf. I hear coyotes a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think they're as cool. So I'd choose wolf. What about you?
Squirrel.
Squirrel.
Because it's ubiquitous.
Yeah, but then in that case, let's put the goose on. You don't want the goose
Oh, I don't want
on
the
there.
goose.
No.
And I actually don't want the squirrel
No,
either.
you don't.
No, I don't.
No.
It is like the tail, the tail of a squirrel is beautiful.
I don't hate a squirrel. And actually, I think it would look cute. A profile
cute.
squirrel image is a cute image.
I feel like when I made a book for your son, I put a squirrel in it because it's cute.
You did? Yeah. We should talk about that sometime. He likes that book. Yes, it is a cute animal. It's cute.
It's okay. I'm gonna
All right.
stick with it.
Yeah. Stick to your
squirrel.
initial choice.
Oh, but can I say something about the squirrel?
Yeah.
The squirrels are different across the country.
Yes, different kinds of squirrels.
Because when I was in Edmonton visiting my family, I saw a squirrel and I thought it was a chipmunk because it was teeny tiny.
Yeah.
But here, we got giant squirrels.
Well, also, these are city squirrels we're talking. As we have also mentioned before, the squirrels are always feasting out of the garbage bin.
Yeah,
behind my
they
condo
eat well.
building. They're fat.
All right.
Jolly.
But those were city squirrels too, and they were just teeny. Maybe they have better garbage systems.
I was thinking, are there bears? Is the garbage really locked up? Oh. I don't know. But also, I'm sure there are different, like there's red squirrels, flying squirrels. There are different kinds.
Yeah.
True.
I heard about a white squirrel.
Oh, yeah. There was one around here.
Oh.
Yeah. A friend of mine showed me a picture of like an albino squirrel, a squirrel without pigment. So he was white. I mean, was it a fluke that you heard about or like a whole species?
No, a species.
Oh.
And there's like they're one little place, like they're the city is like, we're the home of the white squirrel. I gotta look that up again.
Research. Eepers. Help us out. Where do the white squirrels live? Also, is species the right word there? Because I'm not sure. Animal.
If you are a biologist, we apologize from the bottom of our hearts for the ways we have offended you in this episode.
We don't claim to be educated on anything other than English.
Yes. Even then, I spelled toonie wrong. So, like...
Sometimes educated.
We would like to share with you that everybody is flawed and you can make mistakes. And that's a beautiful part of learning and growing.
Plus, I feel like we might learn more about these animals through corrections to this episode.
I hope so. Please, please correct us. Please teach us. We want to know.
Yeah.
We just are lazy.
Yeah. No, we have other priorities.
There it is. There it is.
Much better way of putting it.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening. Please teach us about the Canadian animals.
And let us know what animal you would put on your coin.
Yes. And do you think the squirrel's such a bad idea?
Talk to you soon. Find that you can let us know those things by finding us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all the options.
We're everywhere. We're everywhere, like the squirrels.
Okay, I'm coming around.